I saw the text before I saw my daughter's face. Her MacBook sat open on the kitchen counter. The screen glowed. I had just finished scrubbing the bathroom floor on my hands and knees for 3 hours. My back was on fire. My knuckles were bleeding through the yellow rubber gloves. I leaned over to close the laptop. That's when I read the message from Steve. Get the account numbers this week. We can drain it before she realizes. She's old. She won't fight. I read it twice. My chest went cold. My hands stopped shaking and went perfectly still. That stillness was the serious thing. I am 64 years old. I have been a nurse for 42 years. I have held dying men in my arms. I have watched babies take their first breaths. I have never felt stillness like that. It was the stillness of a stopped clock. It was the stillness of a woman who has just realized her child is not her child anymore. I scrolled up. The conversation was long. They had been planning this for weeks. I read the messages. I read every word. My daughter wrote. She deposits them in her account. I need to get the phone. She leaves it out. Easy. Steve wrote. And if she fights, Jennifer wrote. What's she going to do? Call the cops? She's old.
She needs me.
I'll just tell her it's a new system. She'll buy it. I closed the laptop. I walked to the guest room. The futon creaked under me. I sat there for 20 minutes without moving. I did not cry. Crying is for women who still have hope. I had no hope left. I had only a plan. The list was still on the floor. I picked it up. 10 items. I had done all of them. I had cleaned her windows inside and out. I had scrubbed her kitchen floor on my knees. I had organized her pantry. I had cleaned her gutters with my bare hands. I had painted her fence. I had washed her bedding. I had deep cleaned her bathroom. I had organized her garage. I had vacuumed her entire house. I had pulled every weed in her front yard. And she wanted to steal from me. I stood up. My knees popped. My shoulder screamed. I walked to the garage. I opened the door. The space was immaculate. I had made it that way. I had lifted every box. I had swept every corner. I knew exactly what was in there. I knew every piece of furniture that belonged to me. The antique dresser from my mother's house. The oak dining table. The silverware reset still in its box. The flat-screen TV. The leather couch. The espresso machine. I had bought every single one of those things for her. I had paid for them with my own money. My nurse's salary. My overtime shifts. My pension. My Social Security checks. The same Social Security checks she was planning to drain from my account. I walked back inside. Jennifer was on the couch. She was scrolling on her phone. She didn't look up. Hey, Mom, can you make dinner? She said.
I'm craving pasta.
I looked at the back of her head. I saw her hair. The same hair I had brushed when she was 5. The same hair I had braided for her first day of school. The same head I had kissed a million times. I felt nothing. That nothing was louder than anything I had ever felt. Of course, I said. I'll make pasta. I walked to the kitchen. I opened the cabinets. I found the box of pasta. I found the jar of sauce. I filled a pot with water. I turned on the stove. The flame was blue and steady. I looked at that flame. I thought about fire. I thought about my own mother. She had taught me one thing. She said, never let anyone treat you like a doormat. Not your husband. Not your children. Not your neighbor. If they wipe their feet on you, you get up and you walk away. I had spent my whole life walking away. I walked away from my father when I was 7. He left first, but I walked away in my heart. I walked away from a bad boss at the hospital. I walked away from a friend who borrowed money and never paid it back. I walked away from my husband's family when they blamed me for his cancer. But I had never walked away from my daughter. I had always run tawa, her. I had always caught her when she fell. I had always given her everything. Not anymore. The pasta boiled. I drained it. I poured sauce over it. I put it in a bowl. I ride it to the living room. Jennifer took it from me without looking up.
She ate.
She chewed. She scrolled. She did not say thank you. I went back to the kitchen. I ate a piece of bread. I drank a glass of water. I thought about the U-Haul on the corner of 17th and Tacoma. I thought about the bank. I thought about my Social Security. I needed to change my direct deposit. I needed to stop the checks. But it was Saturday. The banks were closed. I had to wait until Monday that I had 2 days to execute my plan. Saturday night, I lay on the futon. The mattress was thin. My body was broken. My shoulder throbbed. My back was a single knot of pain. My knees felt like they were filled with gravel. I had never felt this old in my entire life. But I did not sleep. I lay there, and I listened. I listened to Jennifer and Steve in the other room. They were watching TV. They were laughing. They were planning my financial ruin. I heard Jennifer say, "She'll be here all week. Then she has to renew her ticket. I can't drive her. She'll have to stay until we sort out the checks." Steve laughed. "You're ruthless," he said. "That's the only way to survive," Jennifer said, and I closed my eyes. I saw my daughter at 4 years old. She had a chicken pox. She was covered in spots. She cried all night. I held her. I rocked her. I sang to her. I stayed up for 3 days. I never complained. I never asked for anything in return. That was my mistake. I should have asked. I should have taught her that love is a two-way street. I thought I was teaching her kindness. I was teaching her that I am a doormat. Sunday morning, I got up at 5. I did not make coffee. I did not make breakfast. I packed my small suitcase. I put my phone in my pocket. I walked to the garage. I opened the door. I looked at the items. I sta route taking inventory. The antique dresser. The oak table. The silverware reset. The TV. The couch. The espresso machine. The boxes of Christmas ornaments. The boxes of books. I made a mental list. I calculated their value. I was a nurse, not an appraiser. But I knew enough. I knew these things were worth thousands. I walked to the corner of 17th and Tacoma. The U-Haul lot was quiet. The orange sign glowed in the gray morning light. I went inside. A young man with acne and a bored expression looked at me. He was maybe 22. He had a lip ring. He wore a red t-shirt. He did not look at me like I was old. He looked at me like I was just another customer. "I need a truck," I said. "A big one." "How big?" he asked. "Big enough for furniture. A whole house worth." He raised an eyebrow. "Moving?" "Yes," I said. "My daughter is moving. She asked me to handle it. She's busy with work." He nodded. He typed something into his computer. "We have a 15-foot truck available. It's $130 a day.
Plumillage.
I'll take it for 2 days." I said. He looked at my ID. He looked at my credit card. He handed me the keys. I was surprised it was that easy. I was a 64-year-old woman with gray hair and cracked hands. I looked like someone's grandmother. But nobody stopped me. Nobody asked questions. Nobody said, "Are you sure your daughter knows about this?" I drove the truck back to the house. The engine was loud. The steering wheel was stiff. I backed it into the driveway. I did it slowly. I did it carefully. I did not want to attract attention. I walked inside. Jennifer was still sleeping. Steve was still sleeping. The house was silent. I walked to the garage. I opened the back door of the truck. I sta route with the antique dresser. I had given it to Jennifer when she moved to Oregon. It belonged to my mother. It was solid oak. It was heavy. I grunted. I slid it across the garage floor. I lifted one end. I lifted the other. I pushed it onto the truck ramp. It took everything I had. My shoulder screamed. My back screamed. But I did not stop. I moved the oak dining table next. I had bought that for her first appointment. She was 25. She said, "Mom, I need a table." I said, "I'll get you a table." I spent $600. I had worked 4 extra shifts to pay for it. Now I loaded it onto the truck. I did not feel sad. I did not feel angry. I felt nothing. Nothing is easier than anger. That I moved the leather couch. It was heavy and awkward road. I had to tilt it sideways. I scraped the wall. I left a marque. I did not see a re. I moved the flat-screen TV. I wrapped it in a blanket. I moved the espresso machine. I moved the silverware reset. I moved the boxes of books. I moved the Christmas decorations. I moved everything that had any value. By 8 in the morning, the truck was half full. I took a break.
I dronk water. I ate a granola bar.
My body was screaming. My hands were bleeding again. I had cracked the skin on my palms. I had torn a fingernail. I did not stop. I heard a sound from inside the house. A toilet flushing. Jennifer was awake. I closed the garage door. I walked back inside.
I had a new list in my hand.
I had written it the night before. It was my plan. It had 3 items. Item 1. Empty the house. Item 2. Sell everything. Item 3. Disappear. Jennifer came out of the bathroom. She was wearing a bathrobe. Her hair was messy. She looked at me. Mom, you're up early, she said.
She yawned.
She did not ask about the truck. She did not notice the noise. She did not notice I had been working for 3 hours. That I smiled. I couldn't sleep, I said. I was thinking about your fence. I noticed some more boa RDS that need painting. I might do that today. She shrugged. Sure, whatever, she said. She went to the kitchen. She opened the fridge. She pulled out a yogurt. She ate it standing up. I watched her. I watched her eat. I watched her check her phone. I watched her ignore me completely. I thought about the text message. I thought about the words she had written to Steve. What's she going to do? Call the cops? She's old. She needs me. I felt that stillness again. The stopped clock. The cold chest. I was not old in that moment. I was young again. I was young, and I was savage. I'm going to run some errands, I said. I'll be back by noon. She did not look up. Okay, she said. Can you pick up some milk? Of course, I said. I'll get milk. I walked out the front door. I got into the truck. I drove to a pawn shop on Station Arcade Street. It was small and dirty. The sign said cash for gold, electronics, tools, everything. I walked in. The man behind the counter was old and bald. He had a thick mustache. He looked at me with suspicion. Old women do not usually bring a truck full of furniture to a pawn shop. I have things to sell, I said. High-quality things. Furniture. Electronics. Silver. He raised an eyebrow. Where'd you get them? My daughter, I said. She asked me to sell them. She's moving. She needs the cash.
He looked at me.
I looked back at him. I kept my face neutral. I did not blink. I had lied to patients before. I had told dying men that they would get better. I had told families that there was hope. I was good at lying. I had 42 years of practice. He nodded. Let's see what you got. I led him to the truck. He looked at the furniture. He looked at the TV. He looked at the silverware reset. He whistled. This is good stuff, he said. Really good. My daughter has expensive taste, I said. He made an offer. It was lower than I wanted. But I did not have time to argue. I said yes. He wrote me a check. $2,400 RS. I cashed it at the bank down the street. I deposited it into my account. I walked out with cash in my pocket. I went to a second pawn shop on Hawthorne Boulevard Road. I sold more things. The coffee table. A set of crystal glasses. A vintage lamp. I sold them all. Another $800 RS. I went to a third shop on Division Street. I sold the remaining boxes. The books. The small appliances. Another $400 RS. I was CA refill. I did not go to the same place twice. I did not want anyone to remember me. By noon, the truck was empty. I had sold everything. I had made almost $4,000 RS. It was not enough. The money would not replace what I had lost. But it was something. It was a STA, RT. I drove back to the house. Jennifer was on the couch. She was watching TV. She looked at me. Where's the milk? She asked. I had forgotten the milk. I had forgotten everything except my plan. I looked at her. The store was closed, I said. I'll get it later. She rolled her eyes.
Fine, she said.
She turned back to the TV. I walked to the guest room. I sat on the futon. I looked at the ceiling. The water stain was still there. It looked like a map. I had spent 9 days in this house. I had worked every day. I had done everything she asked. And she had not said thank you once. She had not said she loved me. She had not hugged me. She had not asked if I was okay. She had not noticed that I was in pain. She had not noticed that I was breaking. That was okay. I was done breaking. I was done being a doormat. I was done being old and quiet and forgotten. I was a nurse. I had saved lives. I had held the hands of dying men. I had delivered babies. I had seen miracles, and I had seen tragedies. I had survived my husband's death. I had survived my father's abandonment. I had survived poverty. I had survived everything. And now I was going to survive my daughter. That Monday morning came fast. I got up at 4. I had not slept. My body was a raw nerve. Every muscle screamed.
But I did not see a re.
I had a bank to visit. I had a social security account to change. I had a flight to book that I walked out of the house at 5. I left my suitcase in the room. I left the door open. I did not want to tip her off. I drove the U-Haul to the bank. I parked. I sat in the truck and waited. The sun came up. The birds sang. I watched the bank manager arrive. I watched the tellers walk in. At 9 o'clock, the doors opened. I walked inside. I went to the counter. I asked to speak to the manager. A young woman named Amber came out. She had kind eyes. She smiled at me. She did not know what I was about to do. "Ma'am, how can I help you?" she asked. "I need to change my Social Security direct deposit," I said. "I need to close this account and open a new one." Her face changed. Concern. "Is everything okay?" "Yes," I said. "I want to make sure my money is safe."
She looked at me.
She nodded. "I can help you with that. Do you have your ID?" I gave her my ID. She processed the new account. She gave me new routing numbers. I called the Social Security office. I changed my deposit information. The new account was in my name only. Jennifer could not touch it. She could not drain it. She could not steal from me ever again. I walked out of the bank. The air was cold. The sky was gray. I looked at the U-Haul. I had to return it. I had to go back to the house. I had to get my suitcase. I had to get to the airport. I drove the truck back to the lot on 17th and Tacoma. I returned the keys. The young man with the lip ring did not ask questions. He did not look at the empty truck. He just handed me a receipt. I walked away. I took the bus to the house. I was CA refull. I walked slow. I did not rush. I walked through the front door. Jennifer was in the kitchen. She was making coffee. She looked at me. "Mom, where have you been?" she asked. "I need you to help me with something. There's a problem with my garage. The shelves re-empty. The furniture is gone. Some of my stuff is missing. Did you see anything?" I looked at her. I saw her face. Her eyes were sharp. Her mouth was tight. She was worried. She was afraid. She had planned to steal from me. She had planned to drain my bank account. She had planned to trap me in her house for a week and take everything I had. And now she was afraid that someone had stolen from her. "Your stuff," I said. "Jennifer, are you sure you're not imagining things?" "No, Mom, I'm not imagining things. I had furniture in there. There was a dresser, a table, a TV. It's all gone." I kept my face calm. I had 42 years of practice. "You must have moved it," I said. "You must have forgotten." "I didn't forget anything," she said. "Mom, this is serious. I'm going to call the police." I looked at her. I did not blink. "Call them," I said. "Call them right now. Tell them your mother came to visit. Tell them you gave her a list of chores. Tell them she did everything. Tell them you planned to steal her Social Security checks. Tell them you wanted to drain her bank account. Tell them everything. Let's see how that goes." Jennifer's face changed. It turned white. Her mouth opened. She closed it. She looked at me like she did not recognize me. "Mom, what are you talking about?" "I read your texts," I said. "I read them all. I saw what you and Steve planned. I saw you say I was old. I saw you say I wouldn't fight. I saw you say I would buy the lie. I saw everything." She blinked. She blinked again. "Mom, you don't understand. That was just—" "I understand perfectly," I said. "I understand you wanted my money. I understand you wanted me to work. I understand you wanted to use me. But you made one mistake. You forgot who I am.
Who are you? She said.
Her voice was small. I am a nurse, I said. I have worked for 42 years. I have stood on my feet for 12-hour shifts. I have held dying men's hands. I have seen people at their worst. I am not weak. I am not stupid. And I am not going to let you steal from me. She sta root crying. She sta root apologizing. She sta root begging. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. It was Steve's idea. He made me do it. I was confused. I was struggling. I need help. Please don't leave. Please. I looked at her TRS. I looked at her face. I remembered the baby she used to be. The little girl with chickenpox. The teenager who cried about boys. The young woman who needed money. I had always given it to her. I had always helped. I had never said no. And that was my fault. I had made her into this. I had taught her that I would always be there. I had taught her that my love was unconditional, but my money was not unconditional. My bank account was not unconditional. My social security was not unconditional. Those were mine. I reneged them. I fought for them. And I was not going to let her take them. I'm leaving, I said. I'm going home. I'm taking my suitcase. I'm taking my phone. I'm taking my passwords.
You don't get any of it.
You don't get anything. I was going to give you a list, she said. You said you wanted to help. I wanted to help you, I said. I did not want to be your servant. I did not want to be your victim. I did not want to be your bank account. She cried harder. I walked to the guest room. I picked up my suitcase. I walked to the front door. Jennifer followed me. She kept crying. She kept begging. She kept saying she was sorry. I opened the door. I walked out. I walked down the sidewalk. I did not look back. I took the bus to the airport. I walked to the ticket counter. I bought a one-way ticket to Tampa. The flight left in 4 hours. I sat in the waiting array. I drank a cup of water. I looked at my hands. They were cracked and bleeding. My nails were broken. My knuckles were bruised. I looked old. I looked tired. I looked broken. But I was not broken. I was free. I pulled out my phone. I opened my bank app. The new account was active. The balance was there. The Social Security deposit was safe. I smiled. It was a small smile. It did not reach my eyes. It did not need to. Then I did one more thing. I sent a message to Jennifer. It was not a long message. It was just a picture. A screenshot. The screenshot of her text conversation with Steve. The one that said, "What's she going to do? Call the cops? She's old. She needs me. I'll just tell her it's a new system. She'll buy it." I added a caption. It said, "Housekeeping is closed. I boa ride the plane." I sat in my seat. I fastened my seatbelt. The plane took off. I looked out the window. The clouds were white. The sky was blue. The ground disappé red. I thought about my garden. I thought about my peace lilies. I thought about my neighbor mowing my lawn. I thought about my friend Beth. I thought about my house. I thought about my life. And I thought about my daughter. I loved her. I would always love her. But love does not mean surrender. Love does not mean sacrifice. Love does not mean letting someone steal from you. My mother was right. If someone wipes their feet on you, you get up and you walk away. I walked away. Now I'm telling you this story. Not to make you feel sorry for me. Not to make you angry at Jennifer. I'm telling you this because you need to hear it. If you're a mother, a grandmother, an aunt, a sister, if you're a woman over 40, you need to know your money is your money. Your Social Security is your lifeblood. Your children may love you, but love does not always protect you. Sometimes you have to protect yourself. My name is Ellen. I am 64 years old. I am a retired nurse. I am a widow. I have a daughter who tried to steal from me. And I walked away. If this story gave you something, a spark, a thought, a feeling, hit the subscribe button. Comment below. Tell me your story. Tell me how you walked away. Because we are not alone. We are not forgotten. We are not old. We are survivors. I went to the bank. I changed everything. She would never touch a penny. Then I flew home. 2 weeks later, I got a call. My daughter was furious. She said I stole from her. I laughed and hung up. Then I donated every dollar to a shelter for battered women. I stood at the bank counter at 9:02 a.m. Amber, the manager, typed my new account number into her terminal. I watched her fingers move. I watched the screen flash. She printed out a slip of paper and handed it to me with a pen. I signed my name, the name I had ride for 64 years, the name I had given to my daughter, the name I was now taking back. Done, Amber said. Your Social Security direct deposit will switch over within 2 business days. Your old account will remain open, but no new funds will be deposited. If anyone tries to access it, we'll flag it immediately. Do you want to add a security question? Yes, I said. Make it something she would know. What would that be? Question. What is the name of the first hospital where I worked? Answer. St. Mary's. I was 22 years old. I worked the night shift. I held a man's hand while he died. It was my first death. I never forgot it. Amber looked at me. She was young, maybe 30. Her eyes were soft. She didn't know why I was doing this.
She didn't need to.
You're protected now, she said. Nobody can touch your money. Not your daughter. Not anyone. I thanked her. I walked out of the bank. The cold air hit my face. The sky was gray. The sidewalk was wet. I walked to the bus stop. I sat on the bench. I watched cars drive by. I watched people with their dogs and their strollers. Normal people. Normal lives. They had no idea what I had done. They had no idea I had just erased my daughter from my financial life. The bus came. I got on. I paid my fare. I sat near the back. I watched the buildings pass. I thought about Jennifer. I thought about her face when I told her I had read her texts. The white shock. The open mouth. The TRS that came too late. I thought about her words. What's she going to do?
Call the cops, she's old.
She needs me. She had said I was old. She had said I wouldn't fight. She had said I would buy the lie. I bought nothing. I sold everything. I walked away. The bus stopped near the house. I got off. I walked up the street. The U-Haul lot was empty. The truck was gone. I had returned it that morning. The young man with the lip ring had taken the keys without a word. He didn't ask about the furniture. He didn't ask about the scratches. He just printed my receipt. I was just another customer. Another old woman moving furniture. Another story he would forget by lunch. I walked to the house. The front yard was still overgrown. The bicycle frame was still in the weeds. I stepped over it. I walked to the door. I opened it with the key she had given me. The key she had cut for me when she said, "Mom, you're always welcome here." That was 3 years ago. The last time I visited. The last time I felt like a guest. I walked inside. Jennifer was in the kitchen. She was on the phone. She heard the door. She turned around. Her eyes were red. Her face was blotchy. She had been crying. But when she saw me, the crying stopped. Her face hardened. Her eyes narrowed. She hung up the phone without saying goodbye.
Where were you? She asked. Her voice was sharp.
It was the voice she used on telemarketers. The voice she used on people she wanted to hurt. I went to the bank. I said, "Why, what did you do?" I changed my direct deposit. My Social Security goes to a new account now. A SEPA rate account. In my name only. You can't touch it. She read at me. Her mouth opened.
Closed.
Opened again. You did what? I read your texts, Jennifer. I read every single one. I know what you planned. I know what you and Steve discussed. I know you wanted to drain my account and tell me it was a system change. I know you called me old. I know you said I wouldn't fight. I know you thought I was stupid. I didn't mean it. You meant every word. You planned this for weeks. You called me old. You called me easy. You called me a joke. And while you were planning to steal from me, I was scrubbing your floors. I was cleaning your gutters. I was painting your fence. I was organizing your GA rage. I did everything you asked. I worked until my hands bled. And you didn't even say thank you. Mom, you were going to take everything. You were going to leave me nothing. You were going to let me stay in your guest room on that thin futon. You were going to let me work. You were going to let me break myself. And then you were going to take my money, my pension, my social security, my life. And you were going to do it with a smile. She sta root crying again. Real TRS this time. The ugly kind. The kind that make your nose run. She wiped her face with the back of her hand. It wasn't supposed to be like this, she said. I was going to help you. I was going to manage your accounts. I was going to make sure you were taken CA-RE of. I can take CA-RE of myself. I have taken CA-RE of myself for 64 YRS. I took CA-RE of you for 32 YRS. And you repaid me by trying to steal from me. She stepped closer. She reached for my ARM. I pulled back. I didn't want her to touch me. I didn't want to feel her fingers on my skin. I didn't want to remember what it felt like to hold her. Mom, please. I need you. I have debt. Steve lost his job. We can't make rent. We're drowning. I was desperate. I wasn't thinking. I just needed a way out. You had a way out. You had me. I would have helped you. I have always helped you.
But you didn't ask. You didn't tell me about the debt.
You didn't tell me about Steve's job. You didn't tell me you were drowning. You just made a list of chores and planned to rob me. I was SCA read to ask. You always judge me. You always make me feel like I'm not good enough. I didn't want to hear you say, I told you so. I have never said I told you so in my entire life. I never said it when you dropped out of college. I never said it when you moved to Oregon. I never said it when you moved in with Steve. I never said it when you stopped calling. I never said it when you missed my birthday. I never said it when you ignored my Christmas presents. I never said it when you didn't come to your father's funeral. Not once, Jennifer. I have never said it to you. I have only ever said that I love you.
She sobbed.
She covered her face with her hands. She fell against the counter. She slid down to the floor. She sat there, crying. She looked small. She looked like she was 5 years old again. Like the little girl who scraped her knee. Like the little girl who needed to be held. I looked at her. I felt something. But it was not pity. It was not forgiveness. It was the knowledge that I had just done the right thing. Where did you go? She asked. Her voice was muffled by her hands. I went to the bank. And then I went to the airport. I bought a ticket home. I'm leaving. I'm leaving today. I'm going back to Florida.
No.
No, you can't. You can't leave.
We need to talk about this.
We need to fix this. We're family. Family doesn't steal from family. Family doesn't make lists of chores and hand them to their mother like she's a maid. Family doesn't call their mother old and stupid behind her back. Family doesn't plan to drain their mother's bank account and leave her with nothing. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll make it right. I'll do anything. Just don't leave. I looked at her. I saw the TRS on her face. I saw the red rimming her eyes. I saw the fear. It was real. She was truly afraid. She was afraid of losing me. She was afraid of being alone. She was afraid of facing the consequences. But her fear was not my problem. Her fear was her own making. Jennifer, I love you. I will always love you. But I can't stay here. I can't be your maid. I can't be your bank account. I can't be your doormat. I am going home. I am going to my GA Reden. I am going to my peace lilies. I am going to live my life. You are going to live yours. Maybe one day you will understand what you did. Maybe you won't. Either way, I am done. I walked to the guest room. I picked up my suitcase. The one I had packed 3 weeks ago. The one with the apricot jam, still inside. I opened it. I looked at the jar, homemade. Canned with love. I had planned to give it to her on the first night. I had planned to say, here, sweet ART. I made this for you, just like when you were little. But she had ordered pizza. She had eaten in her room. She had never given me the chance that I pulled out the jar. I set it on the counter. I wrote a note on a piece of scrap paper. It said, I made this for you. I wanted to show something sweet.
But you didn't want that.
You wanted my money. I hope you enjoy this jam. It's the last thing I will ever give you. I left the note next to the jar. I walked to the front door. Jennifer was still on the floor. She was still crying. She looked up at me. Her face was a mess. Her makeup was SMEA red. Her nose was red. Mom, please. Don't go. I'll change. I'll be better. I'll do whatever you want. I don't want anything from you, Jennifer. I wanted your love. I wanted your time. I wanted to be your mother. But you didn't want a mother. You wanted a servant. I am not a servant. I am a woman. I am a nurse. I am a widow. I am a survivor. And I am going home. I opened the door. I walked out. I walked down the front steps. I stepped over the bicycle frame one last time. I walked down the sidewalk. I didn't look back. I couldn't. At the bus ride to the airport was 40 minutes. I sat in the back. I read out the window. I watched the houses disappear. I watched the trees disappear. I watched the gray sky disappear. I was leaving Oregon. I was leaving my daughter. I was leaving everything I had ever known as a mother, but I was taking myself. I was taking my dignity. I was taking my money. I was taking my social security. I was taking my life. The plane took off at 2:15 p.m. I had a window seat. I looked down at the city, the rooftops, the rivers, the bridges, the tiny cars, the tiny people. They were all so small from above. So insignificant. So temporary. I thought about Jennifer. I thought about her in that house, crying on the kitchen floor, sitting in the middle of her own disaster. She had built her own cage. She had made her own choices. And now she had to live with them. I thought about Steve. I had never trusted him. The neck tattoos, the gruff voice, the way he looked at me like I was a nuisance. I had given him a chance. I had invited him to dinner. I had bought him a Christmas gift. But he had joined Jennifer in her plot. He had encouraged her. He had said, "You're ruthless." And she had laughed. They were both the same. They were both willing to hurt me. But I had hurt them first. I had taken everything. I had sold everything. I had donated everything. I had left them with an empty rage and a jar of jam. The flight was long. 4 hours and 20 minutes. I didn't sleep. I read at the seat back in front of me. I thought about my mother. She had died when I was 35. She had never met Jennifer's husband. She had never seen Jennifer graduate. She had never seen Jennifer become a grown woman. But she had given me the advice that saved me. She said, "Never let anyone treat you like a doormat." I had followed that advice. I had walked away. But I had also failed. I had failed to teach my daughter the same lesson. I had been too soft. I had given her too much. I had never said no. I had never let her struggle. I had always caught her when she fell. And in doing so, I had taught her that I would always be there. I had taught her that love means never-ending sacrifice. I had taught her that I was her safety net. And when she saw a chance to make money, she didn't think about my safety. She only thought about herself. That was my fault. I had raised her that way. I had made her into this. Not on purpose, but out of love, out of fear, or out of wanting her to have everything I never had. I had given her everything, and she had taken it all for granted. The plane landed in Tampa at 8:40 p.m. I walked through the airport. The air was warm. The sky was dark. I had forgotten what warmth felt like. Oregon was cold. Oregon was gray. Oregon was my daughter's home. But Florida was my home. Florida was where I belonged, and I took a shuttle to the parking lot. My car was there. A 2015 Honda Civic. It was dusty. The windshield had bird droppings. I didn't see a I got in. I turned the key. The engine route. I drove home. My house was a small bungalow on a quiet street. The porch light was on. Beth had turned it on. She had checked on my peace lilies. She had watered them. They were still alive. I walked through the front door. The house smelled like dust and old wood. It smelled like home. I set my suitcase down. I walked to the kitchen. I opened the fridge. There was a casserole from Beth. A note on top. "Welcome back, Ellen. Call me when you get this. I want to hear everything." I smiled. Beth was my best friend. She was 71. She had hip surgery last month. She walked with a cane. But she had still come to my house to water my plants. She had still left me a casserole. She had still thought about me. I reheated the casserole. I ate it at my kitchen table. I looked out the window. The neighbor's cat was walking through my road. The peace lilies were glowing in the moonlight. My house. My road. My life. I was home. The next few days were quiet. I slept in my own bed. I woke up to the sound of birds. I drank coffee in my own mug. I worked in my garden. I pulled weeds. I planted new seeds. I watered my flowers. I let my body heal. The cracks in my hands closed. The bruises faded. The ache in my shoulders slowly subsided. I was taking care of myself. On the third day, I got a call. Unknown number. Oregon area code. I didn't answer. The phone rang 3 times. It went to voicemail. I didn't listen. I deleted it. On the 4th day, another call. Same number. I let it ring. I didn't answer. I didn't check the voicemail. I wasn't curious. I wasn't angry. I was just done. On the 5th day, I received a letter. It was addressed to my house. The return address was Jennifer's. I opened it. Inside was a single piece of paper. The paper was crumpled. There were tar stains on it. It was a letter from Jennifer. I read it. Mom, I know you won't believe me. I know I hurt you. I know I did unforgivable things. But I want you to know that I am sorry. Not because I got caught. Not because you took everything. Not because I need money. I'm sorry, because I realized what I did. I realized I treated you like a servant. I realized I ignored you. I realized I planned to take what was yours. And I realized that the woman who had my food and read me stories and stayed up with me when I was sick, the woman who loved me more than anyone, was the same woman I was willing to hurt. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know how I became this person. But I want to change. I want to be better. I want to be the daughter you deserve. Please give me a chance.
Please call me. Please.
I love you, Mom. I really do. I read the letter twice. I held it in my hands. I felt the paper. I saw the tar stains. I heard her voice in my head. But I didn't feel anything. Not anger. Not sadness. Not forgiveness. I just felt tired. I folded the letter. I put it in my nightstand drawer. I didn't call. I didn't reply. I didn't know if I ever would. A week later, I got another call. Unknown number. I answered this time. It was a woman named Linda. She was a counselor at a women's shelter in Portland. She said Jennifer had been volunteering there. Jennifer had told her the whole story. Linda asked if I would be willing to talk to Jennifer. I said no. Linda said she understood. She said Jennifer was in therapy. She said Jennifer was trying to change. She said Jennifer wanted to apologize in person. I said I wasn't ready. Linda said, I understand, Ellen. Take all the time you need. Your daughter is working on herself. But you have to take care of yourself first. That's what I tell all the women who come here. You can't heal someone else if you're still bleeding. I thanked her. I hung up. I sat in my living room. I looked at my peace lilies. They were blooming. White petals. Bright green leaves. They were beautiful. They had survived my absence. They had survived the winter. They were still alive. I thought about Jennifer. I thought about her in therapy. I thought about her volunteering at the shelter. I thought about her writing that letter.
I didn't know if she had really changed.
I didn't know if she was capable of change. But I knew one thing. I knew I had changed. I was no longer the woman who flew across the country to be a doormat. I was no longer the woman who said yes to everything. I was no longer the woman who sacrificed herself for someone who wouldn't even say thank you. I was a survivor. And survivors protect themselves. ISTA rude donating to that shelter. Not just money. I donated time. I went twice a week. I helped the women there. I sorted donations. I answered phones. I listened to their stories. They were women who had been beaten, who had been betrayed, who had been robbed, who had been used. I held their hands. I told them they were not alone. I told them they were strong. I told them they would survive. I knew because I had survived. Linda called me once a month. She told me about Jennifer. She told me Jennifer was making progress.
She was attending therapy.
She was working. She was paying her own bills. She was not making excuses. She was taking responsibility. Linda said Jennifer had written another letter. She asked if I wanted to read it. I said no. I wasn't ready. I wasn't sure I ever would be. But I kept living my life. I kept my garden. I kept my peace lilies. I kept my casserole dinners with Beth. I went to yoga classes for seniors. I took walks in the park. I read books. I slept well. I laughed. I cried sometimes. But mostly I lived. And I never regretted walking away. That is the thing about Bound Rise. They are not about punishment. They are not about revenge. They are not about making someone else pay. Bound Rise about protecting yourself. Bound Rise about saying, I matter. Bound Rise about refusing to be treated like a doormat, even by the people you love most. My daughter tried to steal from me. She failed. I walked away. I built a new life. And I am still standing. That is my story. But it is also your story. If you are a woman over 40, if you have given everything to your children, your husband, your family, if you have sacrificed your time, your energy, your money, if you have let people treat you like a servant, I need you to hear this. You are not just a mother. You are not just a wife. You are not just a grandmother. You are a person. You have worth. You deserve respect. You deserve safety. And you deserve to be loved without being used. If someone in your life is using you, I want you to learn from my story.
It is not easy to walk away.
It is the hardest thing I have ever done. But it is also the bravest thing I have ever done. I am Ellen. I am 64. I am a nurse. I am a widow. I am a survivor. And I walked away. If this story made you feel something, hit that subscribe button. Comment below.
Tell me your story.
Tell me about the time you walked away. Tell me about the time you protected yourself. We are not alone. We are all survivors. Housekeeping is closed. I live well. I am thriving. 2 years later, my daughter called me on my birthday. She said she had changed. I listened. I didn't believe her. I told her that trust was rened, not given. Then I donated another $5,000 to the shelter. She would never touch my money again. I made sure of it. 2 years, 730 days. I counted them. Not out of sadness. Out of relief. Every day, I woke up in my own bed. Every day, I drank coffee in my own kitchen. Every day, I looked at my garden and knew it was mine. I had rened every flower, every leaf, every blade of grass. I had rened them with 42 years of nursing. I had rened them with blood and sweat and broken nights. And I was not going to let anyone take them away. My life became routine, but it was a good routine. I got up at 6. I made tea. I sat on my porch and watched the sun rise over the neighborhood. Florida mornings pink and gold. The air smells like salt and flowers. I breathed that air deep into my lungs. I filled myself with it. I filled myself with peace. I went to the shelter 3 times a week. I worked in the intake office. I sorted donated clothes. I organized the pantry. I helped women fill out forms. I listened to their stories. They were all different, but they all had one thing in common. They had been told they were worthless. They had been told they were too old. They had been told they were too weak. They had been beaten down by husbands, by boyfriends, by their own children. And they had come to the shelter to pick up the pieces. I told them my story.
Not all of it.
Just enough. Just the part about walking away. Just the part about standing up. I told them about the list of chores. I told them about the text messages. I told them about the U-Haul and the pawn shops and the plane ride home. They listened with their eyes wide. They listened with their mouths open. They listened like I was telling them a fairy tale. You did that, they asked. You actually walked away from your own daughter? Yes, I said. I did. But she's your daughter. How could you leave her? I didn't leave her, I said. I left the person she had become. I left the person who wanted to use me. I left the person who thought I was old and stupid and easy. I didn't leave my daughter. I left a stranger. They nodded. They understood. They understood because they had all left someone too. They had left a husband who hit them. They had left a boyfriend who stole from them. They had left a parent who abused them. They had left a child who drained them. They understood that leaving was not the same as abandoning. Leaving was the same as surviving. I made friends at the shelter. A woman named Rosa. She was 58. She had left her husband after 30 years. He had taken all her money. He had hidden her passport. He had told her she would never survive without him. She left him anyway. She took a bus to the shelter with nothing but a plastic bag. She built a new life. She got a job at a diner. She saved money. She rented a small apartment. She came to the shelter twice a week to help other women. She told me her story with a smile, a woman named Clara. She was 62. She had left her son. He had moved into her house after his divorce. He had brought his girlfriend. They had taken over her living room. They had taken over her kitchen. They had taken over her money. She had been sleeping on her own couch while they used her bedroom. She walked out. She left them with the house and the mortgage. She moved into a small studio.
She was happy.
She was free. A woman named Diane. She was 74. She was the oldest volunteer. She had been at the shelter for 12 years. She was a survivor of domestic violence. She had been married to a man who hit her for 40 years. She left him when she was 62. She walked out the door and never looked back. She became an advocate. She spoke at rallies. She wrote letters to Congress. She was the most ferocious woman I had ever met. She told me, "Ellen, your story is a weapon. You need to use it." I didn't know how to use my story. I just told it. I told it to the women at the shelter. I told it to Beth over dinner. I told it to my yoga class. I told it to the checker at the grocery store. I told it to anyone who would listen. Not because I wanted pity. Not because I wanted revenge. Because I wanted other women to know that they could do it too. They could walk away. They could save themselves. I didn't talk to Jennifer. Not for the first year. She called me every few weeks. I saw her name on my phone. I let it ring. She left voicemails. I deleted them without listening. She sent letters. I put them in a drawer. I didn't read them. I wasn't cruel. I wasn't angry. I was just protecting myself. I had spent my entire life taking care of other people. I was learning to take care of me. Beth told me I was being hard. Beth said, "Ellen, she's your daughter.
She's sorry.
She's trying. You should give her another chance." I said, "Beth, you don't understand. You don't know what it's like to have your own child plan to steal from you. You don't know what it's like to read those words. She's old. She won't fight." She talked about me like I was already dead. She talked about my money like it was hers.
She didn't see me.
She saw a paycheck. Beth was quiet. She had 3 children. They all lived nearby. They called her every Sunday. They brought her groceries. They took her to doctor appointments. They loved her. She couldn't imagine one of them planning to drain her bank account. She couldn't imagine reading those texts. "I don't understand," she said. "But I trust you. If you're not ready, you're not ready. I'll support you." Beth was a good friend. She never pushed. She never judged. She just listened. She brought me casseroles. She helped me in the garden. She sat with me on the porch when I was quiet. She let me be sad. She let me be angry. She let me be anything I needed to be. That is what friendship looks like. That is what love looks like. It doesn't come with a list of chores. It doesn't come with a plan to steal from you. It comes with quiet presence. It comes with casseroles. On my 66th birthday, I got a call. It was Jennifer. She left a voicemail. I listened to it.
I don't know why.
Something about the date. Something about the flowers Beth had brought me. Something about the wine I had drunk. I listened to her voice. "Mom, happy birthday. I know you don't want to talk to me. I know I hurt you. I know I don't deserve to be in your life. But I wanted to say happy birthday. I wanted you to know that I am still trying. I am still in therapy. I am still volunteering. I am still working on myself. I am not the same person I was 2 years ago. I know you can't see that. I know you can't trust it. I just wanted you to know.
I love you, Mom.
I really do. I hope you have a good day. I hope you smile. I hope you eat cake. I hope you know that I am sorry. Every single day, I am sorry. I listened to the message 3 times. I set my phone down. I looked at my garden. The peace lilies were in bloom. The morning glories were climbing the trellis. The sun was warm on my face. I thought about Jennifer. I thought about her voice. It was different. It was softer. It was slower. It didn't sound like the woman who had planned to steal from me. It sounded like a woman who had been through something. It sounded like a woman who had reneged something. But I didn't call her back. Not that day. I wasn't ready. I wasn't sure I would ever be ready. Rosa asked me about it the next day at the shelter. I told her about the voicemail. She asked me how I felt. I said I felt confused. I said I felt like I was standing on a cliff. I said I felt like I could jump or I could walk away. She nodded. She understood. Ellen, she said. Forgiveness is not about the other person. Forgiveness is about you. You forgive because you don't want to carry the weight anymore. You forgive because you don't want to be a prisoner of your own anger. You forgive because you want to be free. But forgiveness doesn't mean trust. Forgiveness doesn't mean you let them back into your life. Forgiveness means you let go of the poison. You let it out. You don't let it eat you alive. I thought about her words. I thought about the poison I had been carrying. The anger, the hurt, the betrayal. It was heavy. It was heavy every day. It was like a stone in my chest. I had been carrying it for 2 years. I was tired. I was so tired. Rosa, I said, I don't know how to let it go. Start small, she said. Start by forgiving her for one thing. Not everything. Just one thing. Forgive her for the list. Forgive her for handing it to you like you were her servant. Forgive her for that moment. And then see how you feel. I thought about the list. The 10 items. The windows. The gutters. The fence. The floor. I thought about the moment she handed it to me. The blue ink. The small handwriting. The way she didn't look up from her phone. The way she said, since you're here. And you have so much time. I felt the anger rise. It rose like a wave. It crashed against my chest, then I let it go. I imagined it leaving my body. I imagined it evaporating like steam. I let it out. I breathed. I let it leave me. It was hard. It was the hardest thing I had done since walking out of her house. But I did it. I forgave her for the list. It didn't change anything. It didn't make me want to call her. It didn't make me trust her. But it made me lighter. It made me breathe easier. It made me feel like I was no longer carrying that stone. 1 month later, Linda called again. She told me Jennifer had been promoted. She was now the manager of a small coffee shop.
She was still in therapy.
She was still volunteering at a different shelter. She had separated from Steve. She was living alone. She was paying her own bills. She was independent. She was stable. She's grown a lot, Linda said. She's different. I've seen it. The therapy is working. The volunteer work is working. She's taking responsibility. She wants to prove herself. She wants to earn your trust back. But she knows it will take time. She's patient. I didn't say anything. I listened. I let the words sink in. She wrote you another letter, Linda said. She asked me to give it to you. I have it here. Would you like to read it? I thought about it. I thought about the drawer in my nightstand. The letters I had never read. The ones I had put away without opening. I didn't know if I could read another one. I didn't know if I could bear it. Yes, I said. Send it to me. Linda mailed the letter. It arrived 3 days later. A white envelope. Jennifer's handwriting on the front. I opened it. I sat on the porch. I read it. Mom, I don't know if you'll read this. I don't know if you'll ever read any of my letters. I'm writing it anyway. I'm writing it because I need to say these words out loud. I need to say them to myself, even if you never hear them, that I was a terrible daughter. I don't say that for pity. I don't say that because I want you to feel sorry for me. I say that because it's true. I treated you like a servant. I gave you a list of chores, and I didn't even say thank you. I planned to take your money. I planned to lie to you. I called you old, and I called you easy. I believed my own lies. I believed you were weak. I believed you would never fight back. I was wrong. You were the strongest person I have ever known. You walked away from me. You walked away from your own daughter. That took more courage than anything I have ever done. You didn't hit me. You didn't yell at me. You didn't shame me. You just walked away. And that was the most powerful thing you could have done. That I have been in therapy for 2 years. I have been learning about myself. I have been learning why I did what I did. It sta root with Steve. He was manipulative. He convinced me that you didn't need your money. He convinced me that you would never notice. He convinced me that I was doing us a favor by taking it. I believed him, but that's not an excuse. I was a grown woman. I made my own choices. I chose to listen to him. I chose to betray you. I chose to hurt the person who loved me most. I am not making excuses anymore. I am taking responsibility. I am learning what it means to be a good person. I am learning what it means to trust. I am learning what it means to love without taking that. I know I may never get you back. I know I may never be your daughter again. I know I may never sit at your kitchen table and eat your eggs. I know I may never hear you say I love you in person again.
But I want you to know that I am changed.
I am changing. Every single day, I am trying to be better. I love you, Mom. I have always loved you. Even when I was terrible, I loved you. I just didn't know how to show it. I was broken. I was lost. I was drowning. And I took it out on you. That was wrong. I know that now. That I don't expect your forgiveness. I don't expect a phone call. I just want you to know that I am trying. I will keep trying. I will never stop trying. Your daughter, Jennifer. I read the letter twice. Then I read it a third time. I held it in my hands. I watched the sun set over the neighborhood. The sky was orange and purple. The peace lilies were nodding in the evening breeze. The neighbor's cat was walking through my yard. I didn't call her. I didn't write back. I wasn't ready. But I felt something shift. I felt a crack in the wall I had built. A small crack. A hairline fracture. Not enough to let her in, but enough to let some light through. That Rosa was right. Forgiveness starts small. It doesn't come all at once. It comes in pieces. It comes in bits. You forgive one thing, then another, then another. And eventually, maybe, you forgive enough to let go of the poison. I forgave her for the text next. The words that had cut me like a knife. The words. What's she going to do? Call the cops. She's old. She needs me. Those words had haunted me for 2 years. I had heard them in my sleep. I had heard them in the shower. I had heard them in the quiet moments when I was alone. They were a constant reminder of how little she thought of me. I forgave her for those words. I didn't forget them. I would never forget them. But I forgave them. I let them go. I imagined them floating away like dandelion seeds. I imagined them disappearing into the sky. They were gone. The words no longer had power over me. I was free. I forgave her for the plan. The plan to drain my account. The plan to take my Social Security. The plan to leave me with nothing. That was the hardest one. That was the deepest wound. The plan meant she had premeditated it.
She had thought about it.
She had discussed it with Steve. She had decided to do it. She had made a conscious choice to hurt me. That I sat with that forgiveness for a long time. I sat with it like a hot stone in my hands. It burned. It hurt. I wanted to throw it away. I wanted to scream. I wanted to hate her forever. But I didn't. I held the stone. I held it until its seagull led. I held it until it no longer burned. I forgave her for the plan. Not because she deserved it. Because I deserved peace. I didn't call her. I didn't write back. But I put the letter in a different drawer. I put it in the drawer where I kept my important papers. My passport. My birth certificate. My marriage license. My husband's death certificate. That's where I put her letter. It was important. It was evidence of change. It was evidence of growth. It was a letter from my daughter, who was trying that the next call came on a Thursday. I was in the garden. I was planting new roses. The dirt was under my nails. The sun was warm on my back. I heard the phone ring inside. I thought about letting it ring, but something made me walk inside. Something made me pick it up. It was Jennifer. I saw her name on the screen. I hesitated. I held the phone. I watched it ring. I counted the rings.
1, 2, 3.
I almost hung up. I almost let it go to voicemail. But I didn't. I answered, "Hello?" I said, "Mom." Her voice was different. It was smaller. It was softer. It was full of hope. "Mom, is that you?" "Yes," I said. "It's me." I don't know what to say. I didn't think you would answer. I called because I wanted to tell you something. I want to tell you that I got a promotion. I'm managing the coffee shop now. I'm making good money. I'm paying my own rent. I'm paying my own bills. I'm taking care of myself. I'm not the person I used to be. I wanted you to know. I wanted you to be proud of me. I am proud of you, I said. And I meant it. I was proud of her. Not because of the promotion. Not because of the money. Because she was trying. Because she was fighting. Because she was becoming someone different. Someone better. "I know I don't deserve to hear that," she said. "I know I hurt you. I know I broke your trust. I know I did unforgivable things. But I want to earn it back. I want to earn your trust. I want to earn your love. I will do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes." "It's going to take time," I said. "I know," she said. "I have time. I'll wait. I'll wait as long as it takes." We talked for 20 minutes.
We didn't talk about the past.
We talked about the present. We talked about her coffee shop. We talked about my roses. We talked about the weather. We talked about the cat. We talked about nothing important, but it was something. It was a beginning. When we hung up, I sat on the porch. I looked at the garden. The roses were in the ground. The peace lilies were blooming. The sun was setting. It was a beautiful evening. I felt something I hadn't felt in 2 years. I felt hope, but I also felt caution. I had been burned before. I had been betrayed before. I was not going to let my guard down. I was not going to trust her completely. Not yet. Not for a long time. But I was willing to open the door. Just a crack. Just enough to let some light in. Beth called me that night. She asked how I was. I told her about the phone call. She was happy. She said, "Ellen, that's wonderful. I'm so glad you talked to her. I knew she would come around. I knew she would change. People change, Ellen. They really do."
"People change," I said.
"But trust takes time. Trust takes proof. Trust takes action. I'm not going to give her access to my bank account. I'm not going to give her my passwords. I'm not going to give her any power over my money. But I'm willing to talk to her. I'm willing to see if she's real." "That's all you can do," Beth said. "That's all any of us can do." The next few months, Jennifer and I talked once a week. Every Sunday at 3 p.m. She called me. It became our routine. We talked about her work. We talked about my garden. We talked about her therapy. She told me about her progress. She told me about the things she had learned. She told me about the things she regretted. She told me about the things she was trying to do better. I listened. I didn't interrupt. I didn't judge. I just listened. I wanted to see if she was consistent. I wanted to see if she was real. I wanted to see if the change was lasting. That it was. Week after week, she was the same. She was patient. She was kind. She was thoughtful. She remembered my birthday. She sent me flowers. She sent me a CA road. She didn't ask for anything. Not once. She didn't ask for money. She didn't ask for help. She didn't ask for forgiveness. She just wanted to be in my life.
Just a little bit.
Just enough. On my 67th birthday, she asked if she could visit. She said she would stay in a hotel. She would not stay with me. She would not ask to stay in my house. She would respect my boundaries. She would only stay a few days. She would only come if I was okay with it. I thought about it. I thought about the last time she had visited. The gray airport. The Subaru. The list. The chores.
The pain.
I thought about all of it. I also thought about the letters. The therapy. The promotion. The weekly calls. The flowers. The patience. Yes, I said. You can visit. But you stay in a hotel. And you don't ask for anything. And you don't mention the past. We start fresh. We talk about the present. We talk about the future. We don't talk about what happened.
That's all I want, she said.
I just want to see you. I just want to sit with you. I just want to be your daughter again, even if it's just for a weekend. She flew in on a Friday. I picked her up at the airport. She came out of the gate. She looked different. She had gained weight. She looked healthier. Her hair was longer. Her eyes were brighter. She was wearing a simple dress. She was riding a small bag. She walked toward me. She didn't rush. She didn't hug me immediately. She stopped a few feet away. She looked at me. Hi, Mom, she said. Hi, sweethearty. I said. She hugged me. It was a good hug. It wasn't stiff. It wasn't one remed. It was a real hug. I felt her arms around me. I felt her head on my shoulder. I felt her breathe. It was the first time in 3 years that I had felt her breathe. We went to my house. She stayed at a Holiday Inn near the airport. She came to my house the next morning. She sat on my porch. She drank coffee. She looked at my garden. She complimented my roses. She asked about the peace lilies. She told me they were beautiful. She didn't ask for anything. We had lunch. We had dinner. We watched the sunset. We talked about her coffee shop. We talked about my volunteering.
We talked about Beth.
We talked about Rosa. We talked about Clara.
We talked about Diane.
She listened to my stories. She didn't interrupt. She didn't check her phone. She didn't vape. She just sat there. She was present. On Sunday, she left. I drove her to the airport. She hugged me at the curb. She said, "Thank you, Mom. Thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for being my mother." I hugged her back. "Thank you for trying," I said. "Thank you for changing. Thank you for fighting for yourself." She got out of the car. She walked into the airport. She turned around and waved. I waved back. I drove home. I sat on my porch. I looked at my garden. The sun was setting. The peace lilies were blooming. The roses were red. I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. I felt peace that I didn't trust her completely. Not yet. But I was open. I was willing. I was hopeful. And I was still grateful. I had read my lesson. I had read that love is not a blank check. Love is not surrender. Love is not sacrifice. Love is bound to rise. Love is respect. Love is two people choosing each other every single day. My daughter was choosing me, and I was choosing myself. That is my story. That is the story of how I walked away and how I came back. Not all the way back. Not yet. But are enough to see the light. If you are a woman over 40, listen to me. You are not old. You are not weak. You are not a servant. You are a fighter. You are a survivor. You have the power to walk away. You have the power to set boundaries. You have the power to protect yourself. Use that power. Subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell. Comment below. Tell me your story. Tell me how you walked away. Tell me how you came back. Tell me how you survived. Because we are all survivors. Every single one of us. I had not called her. I had not written back. I was not ready. But something shifted inside me. The letter sat in my important papers drawer. I opened that drawer every few days. I looked at the envelope. I touched it. I did not open it again. I did not need to. The words were already burned into my brain. I knew them by heart. I had read them enough times that I went to the shelter that week. Rosa was there. She was sorting clothes. I told her about the letter. She stopped sorting. She looked at me. She said, "Ellen, what is holding you back?" I thought about it. I said, "Fear. I am afraid she will hurt me again. I am afraid I will fall for it again. I am afraid I will let her back in, and she will destroy me. I am afraid I am too old to survive another betrayal. Rosa came over. She took my hands. She was small and strong. Her hands were rough. She had worked hard her whole life. She looked me in the eyes. She said, Ellen, you are not the same woman who flew to Oregon. You are not the same woman who scrubbed those floors. You are not the same woman who read those texts. You are a different person now. You are stronger. You are wiser. You have bound a rise. You know how to protect yourself. Even if she hurts you again, you will survive. Because you have survived before. You have the tools. You have the skills. You have the support. You are not alone. I nodded. She was right. I was different. I had changed. I was not the doormat I used to be. I had Leah Rened to stand up. I had Leah Rened to walk away. I had Leah Rened to say no. I had Leah Rened to protect myself. Even if Jennifer hurt me again, I would survive. I had done it once. I could do it again, but I was still SCA red. I was SCA red of the pain. I was SCA red of the betrayal. I was SCA red of opening that door and finding emptiness on the other side. I was SCA red of being wrong. I was SCA red of being fooled. I was SCA red of looking back and realizing I had made a mistake. Rosa said, Fear is not a reason to stay closed. Fear is a reason to be cautious. There is a difference. You can be cautious and still open the door. You can be afraid and still move four-way road. You can be SCA red and still take a step. That week, I took a step. I sent Jennifer a text. It was short. It said, I read your letter. I am thinking about it. I am not ready to call you yet, but I am thinking about it. Keep writing. Keep working. I am watching. She replied within seconds. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for reading. Thank you for not throwing it away. Thank you for thinking about it. I will keep writing. I will keep working. I love you. I read at the screen. I felt something. It was not trust. It was not forgiveness. It was something smaller. It was the beginning of possibility. It was the tiny crack of light in the wall. I left it open. The next month, Jennifer sent me a letter every week. Short letters. Small updates. She told me about our customer at the coffee shop. She told me about a book she was reading. She told me about a bird that built a nest outside her window. She told me about her therapy sessions. She told me about her progress. She told me about her setbacks. She was honest. She was vulnerable. She did not ask for anything. She just read. I read each letter. I put them in the important drawer. I did not reply, but I read them. I held them. I felt the paper. I smelled the ink. I heard her voice in my head. I watched her change. It was slow. It was steady. It was real. On the third month, she sent me a photo. It was a picture of her holding a certificate. It was a certificate of completion from her therapy program. She had finished a 2-year program. She had graduated. She looked proud. She looked healthy. She looked different. I looked at that photo for a long time. I saw my daughter, the real one, the one I had raised, the one I had loved, the one who had lost her way, the one who was finding her way back. I saved the photo on my phone. I set it as her contact image. I looked at it every time she called. I watched her face. I saw her progress. I saw her hope. I saw her determination. I saw her love. I still did not call her. But I stopped deleting her voicemails. I root listening to them. Root hearing her voice. She sounded different. She sounded less desperate. Less anxious. Less fake. She sounded real. She sounded like a person who had been through the ringer and had come out the other side. 6 months after the letter, I got a call from a woman named Patricia. She was Jennifer's therapist. She asked if I would be willing to have a session with Jennifer. She said it would be mediated. She said it would be safe. She said Jennifer had requested it. She said Jennifer wanted me to see the person she had become. I thought about it. I thought about the letters. I thought about the photo. I thought about the weekly calls. I thought about the boundary rise I had built. I thought about the fear that still lived in my chest. I thought about Rose's words. I thought about the tiny crack of light. Okay, I said. I'll do it. The session was over the phone. Patricia facilitated. Jennifer was on the line. I was on the line. Patricia said, Jennifer, why don't you start? Jennifer took a deep breath. I heard her exhale. I heard her voice. It was calm. It was steady. She said, Mom, I know you have heard me say, I am sorry. I have said it many times, but I want to say it again. I am sorry. Not because I want something from you. Not because I want you to forgive me. I am sorry because I hurt you. I am sorry because I betrayed you. I am sorry because I made you feel worthless. I am sorry because I treated you like a servant. I am sorry because I planned to steal from you. I am sorry because I called you old. I am sorry because I said you would not fight. I was wrong. I was wrong about everything. You are not worthless. You are not old. You are not weak. You are a fighter. You are a survivor. You are a warrior. And I am the luckiest person in the world to have you as my mother. I was quiet. I let her words sink in. I had heard apologies before. I had heard her cry. I had heard her beg. But this was different. This was not desperate. This was not manipulative. This was calm. This was honest. This was real that I said, Jennifer, I want to say something. I want to say that I am proud of you. I am proud of you for the work you have done. I am proud of you for the changes you have made. I am proud of you for the person you have become. But I am not ready to trust you yet. I am not ready to let you back into my life completely. I need time. I need to see more. I need to see consistent behavior over a long period of time. I need to be sure that the change is permanent. Jennifer said, I understand, Mom. I will wait. I will keep working. I will keep showing up. I will keep proving myself. However long it takes. I am not going anywhere. I am not giving up. I am not going to slip back into the person I used to be. I am committed to this. I am committed to you. Patricia said, that sounds like a good place to end. Jennifer, Ellen, thank you for doing this. This is a huge step. I want to commend both of you for your courage. Jennifer, for your willingness to be vulnerable. Ellen, for your willingness to open the door. This is how healing begins. One step at a time. We hung up. I sat on my porch. The sun was setting. The sky was pink and orange. The peace lilies were glowing. I felt a warmth in my chest. It was not the old warmth. It was not the blind warmth. It was a new warmth. It was a cautious warmth. But it was warmth that night I called Rosa. I told her about the session. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, Ellen, you are redoing the right thing. You are protecting yourself while also keeping the door open. That is balance. That is wisdom. That is strength. I am proud of you. Rosa was right. I was finding balance. I was learning to hold two things at once, the love for my daughter and the protection of myself. I was learning to be open and cautious at the same time. I was learning to trust, but trust slowly. I was learning to forgive, but forgive wisely. A few weeks later, Jennifer sent me a letter. She asked if she could come visit again. She said she would stay in a hotel again. She said she would only stay for a weekend. She said she would follow my rules. She said she would respect my boundaries. She said she just wanted to see me. I said yes. I picked her up at the airport. She was the same as before.
Calm. Healthy.
Present. She hugged me. It was a good hug. I hugged her back. It was a good hug. We went to my house. She stayed at the Holiday Inn. She came to my house the next morning. She sat on my porch. She drank coffee. She looked at my garden. She complimented my roses. She told me my peace lilies were beautiful. She told me my garden was amazing. She told me she remembered the garden from when she was little. She told me she remembered me planting flowers with her. She told me she remembered the peace lilies in our old house. She told me she loved them. She told me she loved me. We had breakfast. We had lunch. We had dinner. We watched a movie. We laughed. We cried a little. We talked about her coffee shop. We talked about my volunteering.
We talked about Beth.
We talked about Rosa. We talked about the shelter. She listened. She asked questions. She was interested. She was present. She was my daughter. On Sunday, I drove her to the airport. She hugged me at the curb. She said, "Thank you, Mom. Thank you for another chance. Thank you for letting me back in. Thank you for not giving up on me. I love you." I hugged her back. I said, "I love you too, Jennifer. I am proud of you.
Keep going.
Keep working. Keep being the person you are becoming. I will keep watching. I will keep supporting you. I will keep loving you. But I need you to keep proving yourself. Can you do that?" She looked me in the eyes. She said, "Yes, Mom. I can do that. I will do that. Forever. I promise." She walked into the airport. She turned around. She waved. I waved back. I drove home. I sat on my porch. I watched the sunset. The sky was purple and red. The peace lilies were still glowing. The roses were blooming. The air was warm. I felt something. I felt hope. It was a small hope. It was a cautious hope. But it was hope. The next few months, the weekly calls continued. The letters continued. The progress continued. Jennifer was consistent. She was reliable. She was honest. She was open. She was everything she had promised to be. And I sta root to feel something I had not felt in years. I sta root to feel like I had my daughter back. Not the old daughter. Not the one who had planned to steal from me. The new daughter. The real daughter. The daughter who had been through hell and had come out better. The daughter who had been broken and had rebuilt herself. The daughter who was trying. One day, Rosa called me. She said, "Ellen, you sound different. You sound lighter. You sound happy." I said, "I am happy, Rosa. I am happy because I have my daughter back. I am happy because I have my life back. I am happy because I am no longer carrying that stone in my chest. I am happy because I forgave. I am happy because I let go. I am happy because I opened the door. And I am happy because I didn't let her break me." Rosa said, "That is the most beautiful thing I have ever heard, Ellen. You are a survivor. You are a fighter. You are a mother. You are a friend. You are everything. And you did it all yourself. You walked away. You protected yourself. You set boundaries. You opened the door. You gave her a chance. You gave yourself a chance. You did it all. And you are still standing." I was still standing. I was standing in my garden. I was standing among my peace lilies. I was standing in the Florida sun. I was standing in my life. My life. My garden. My peace. My love. My boundaries. My strength. All of it was mine. I thought about Jennifer. I thought about the journey we had been on. I thought about the pain. I thought about the betrayal. I thought about the anger. I thought about the forgiveness. I thought about the healing. I thought about the love. I thought about the hope. I thought about the future. I did not know what the future would bring. I did not know if Jennifer would stay changed. I did not know if she would ever slip back into the person she used to be. But I knew one thing. I knew I was prepared. I knew I had the tools. I knew I had the strength. I knew I had the boundaries. I knew I had the support. I knew I could survive anything. I had survived the worst thing that had ever happened to me. I could survive anything. That night, I wrote a letter to Jennifer. It was not a long letter. It was just a few lines. It said, "Jennifer, I want you to know that I forgive you. I forgive you for everything. Not because you deserve it. Not because you have earned it. Because I deserve peace. Because I deserve to let go of the pain. Because I deserve to move four-way road. Because I deserve to have a life without the weight of the past. I forgive you. And I love you. I have always loved you. And I will always love you." To your mother, Ellen. I mailed the letter the next day. I did not tell her I was sending it. I just sent it. I wanted it to be a surprise. I wanted her to open her mailbox and find it there. I wanted her to read it and feel the same peace I felt. 3 days later, she called me. She was crying. Not the ugly cry. The beautiful cry. The cry of relief. The cry of release. The cry of joy. Mom, she said. I got your letter. I can't believe it. I can't believe you forgave me. I don't deserve it. But I am so grateful. I am so grateful for everything. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you for believing in me.
Thank you for loving me.
I love you. I love you so much. I listened to her voice. I felt her words. I felt the gratitude. I felt the love. I felt the connection. It was real. It was genuine. It was the same connection I had felt when she was a little girl. The same connection I had felt when she was a teenager. The same connection I had felt when she was a young adult. It was mother and daughter. It was love. It was forgiveness. It was everything. We talked for an hour. We laughed.
We cried.
We read. We connected. It was the best conversation we had ever had. It was the conversation we had been waiting for. It was the conversation that healed us. That after we hung up, I sat on my porch. I watched the stars come out. I looked at my garden. I looked at my house. I looked at my life. I was happy.
I was truly happy.
Not the fake happiness. Not the forced happiness. The real happiness. The happiness that comes from within. The happiness that comes from peace. The happiness that comes from forgiveness. The happiness that comes from love. I thought about the day I flew across the country to visit my daughter. I thought about the list of chores. I thought about the text messages. I thought about the U-Haul. I thought about the pawn shops. I thought about the plane ride home. I thought about the letters. I thought about the therapy. I thought about the forgiveness. I thought about the healing. It had been a long journey. It had been a painful journey. But it had been a necessary journey. And it had led me here. To this moment. To this peace. To this joy. I thought about all the women at the shelter.
Rosa. Colaza. Diane.
All the women who had been beaten down. All the women who had been betrayed. All the women who had walked away. All the women who had survived. I thought about all the women who were still fighting. All the women who were still hurting. All the women who were still trapped. All the women who were still waiting. That I knew that my story was not just my story. It was their story too. It was every woman's story who had ever been used. Every woman who had ever been betrayed. Every woman who had ever been treated like a servant. Every woman who had ever been told she was old and weak and worthless. Every woman who had ever been told she would never survive. I knew that my story had the power to help them. I knew that my story had the power to give them hope. I knew that my story had the power to show them that they could walk away, that they could survive, that they could rebuild, that they could forgive, that they could heal, that they could be happy, that they could be free. That is why I am telling you this story. Not because I want to boast. Not because I want to be famous. Not because I want to be admired. Because I want to help. Because I want to give hope. Because I want to show you that it is possible. It is possible to walk away. It is possible to set boundaries. It is possible to forgive. It is possible to heal. It is possible to rebuild. It is possible to be happy. It is possible to be free. You can do it. I know you can. Because I did it. I am a woman over 40. I am a widow. I am a retired nurse. I am a survivor. And I am telling you from the bottom of my heart that you are a survivor too. You are stronger than you think. You are wiser than you think. You are more capable than you think. You can walk away. You can set boundaries. You can forgive. You can heal. You can rebuild. You can be happy. You can be freed. If you are in a situation where someone is using you, hurting you, betraying you, please hear me.
You do not have to stay.
You do not have to be a doormat.
You do not have to take it.
You have the power to walk away. You have the power to protect yourself. You have the power to create a new life. A better life. A life filled with peace and joy and love. A life that is truly yours. It will not be easy. It will be hard. It will be painful. It will be scary. But it will be worth it. Because you deserve it. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be free. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be respected. You deserve to be treated with kindness and compassion and you are not old. You are not weak. You are not worthless. You are not a servant. You are not a doormat. You are a warrior. You are a survivor. You are a fighter. You are a queen. You are powerful. You are beautiful. You are amazing. You are everything. Remember my story. Remember the list of chores. Remember the text messages. Remember the U-Haul. Remember the pawn shops. Remember the plane ride home. Remember the letters. Remember the therapy. Remember the forgiveness. Remember the healing. Remember the hope. Remember the love. Remember the peace. Remember the joy. And then remember yourself. Remember who you are. Remember what you deserve. Remember what you are capable of. And then take a step. Take one small step. And then another. And another. And another. Until you are walking. Until you are running. Until you are flying. Until you are free. You can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you with all my heart. That was 3 hours ago. I am 69 now. The gray at my temples has spread. My hands have more veins. My knees pop when I stand. But I am alive. I am whole. I am happy. And I am freed. Jennifer comes to visit twice a year. She flies to Florida. She stays at the Holiday Inn. She never asks to stay in my house. She never asks for money. She never asks for anything. She just comes. She sits on my porch. She drinks coffee. She talks to me. She is present. She is real. She is my daughter. She has been promoted 3 times. She is now the regional manager of a coffee chain. She makes good money. She owns her own apartment. She has a cat. She volunteers at a shelter in Portland. She is still in therapy. She is still working on herself. She is still changing. She is still growing. She is still becoming. And I am still watching. I am still proud. I am still cautious. But I am also loving. I am also open. I am also hopeful. I am also peaceful. I think about the day I found those texts. I think about the way my chest went cold. I think about the stillness, the stop clock, the silence that was louder than anything. I think about the list of chores, the windows, the gutters, the fence, the floor. I think about the U-Haul, the pawn shops, the plane ride home. I think about all of it. And I realize something. That day was not the worst day of my life. That day was the best day of my life. Because that day I woke up. I opened my eyes. I saw the truth. I saw my daughter for who she was. I saw myself for who I was. I saw the marriage of my love and my pain. And I chose myself that day. I became a survivor. That day, I read what love really is. Love is not a blank check. Love is not endless sacrifice. Love is not being a doormat. Love is not letting someone steal from you because you are too afraid to lose them. Love is bound to rise. Love is respect. Love is choosing yourself. Love is saying, I matter. Love is saying, you matter to me, but I matter to me too. Love is walking away when someone treats you like a servant. Love is coming back when they have proven they are different. Love is healing. Love is forgiveness. Love is hope. Love is peace. Love is joy. That is what I read. That is what Jennifer read. That is what we read together. And now I want to tell you what I have read about the women I help at the shelter. Every day, I see women who are still trapped. Women who are still being used. Women who are still being betrayed. Women who are still being treated like servants. Women who are still being told they are old and weak and worthless. Every day, I tell them my story. Every day, I tell them about the list. The texts. The U-Haul. The pawn shops. The plane ride home. The letters. The therapy. The forgiveness. The healing. The hope. The love. the peace, the joy that every day I watch their faces change. I watch their eyes widen. I watch their mouths open. I watch them realize that they can do it too. They can walk away. They can set boundary rise. They can survive. They can heal. They can rebuild. They can be happy. They can be free. And every day I watch someone take a step. A small step. A tiny step. A step that changes their life. One woman, Patricia, walked out of her house with nothing but a plastic bag. She was 53. Her husband had been beating her for 20 years. He had taken all her money. He had hidden her passport. He had told her she would never survive without him. She walked away anyway. She came to the shelter. She got a job. She got an apartment. She got a new life. She is happier than she has ever been. One woman, Nora, left her son. He had moved back into her house with his girlfriend. They took over her living room. They took over her kitchen. They took over her money. She was sleeping on her own couch. She walked away. She left them the house. She moved into a small studio. She is freed. One woman, Margaret, was 72. She had been married for 50 years. Her husband had cheated on her for the last 20. He had spent her retirement savings. He had lied to her about everything. She found out. She left him. She moved into a senior apartment. She sta route painting. She sta route traveling. She sta route living. She told me, Ellen, I wasted 50 years. But I am not wasting another day. These women are my heroes. They are the survivors. They are the fighters. They are the warriors. And so are you. If you are reading this, listening to this, watching this, you are a warrior too. You may not know it. You may not feel it. But you are because you are here. You are sea urchin. You are looking for answers. You are looking for hope. You are looking for permission to walk away. You are looking for permission to protect yourself. Here it is. Permission granted. You have permission to walk away. You have permission to set boundaries. You have permission to protect yourself. You have permission to be happy. You have permission to be freed. You have permission to survive. You do not need anyone's approval. You do not need anyone's permission. You only need your own. And I am telling you right now that you have it. You have your own permission. You have the power. You have the right. You have the strength.
You can do it. I know you can.
Because I did it. I did it at 64. I did it when I was tired. I did it when I was broken. I did it when I was scared. I did it when I thought I had nothing left. And if I can do it, so can you. So here is my challenge to you. My challenge to every woman over 40 who is listening to this. My challenge to every woman who has ever been treated like a servant. Every woman who has ever been betrayed. Every woman who has ever been used. Every woman who has ever been told she is old and weak and worthless to take one step today. One small step. One tiny step.
It can be anything.
It can be making a phone call to a friend. It can be looking up the number of a shelter. It can be writing a letter to yourself. It can be saying the words out loud. I deserve better. It can be looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I am a survivor.
Take that step. Take it today. Take it right now.
Don't wait. Don't wait until you are ready. Don't wait until you are strong. Don't wait until you are brave. You will never be ready. You will never be strong enough. You will never be brave enough. You just have to start. And the strength will come. The courage will come. The bravery will come. But you have to take the first step. And you will not be alone. There are millions of women just like you. Women who have walked away. Women who have survived. Women who are walking alongside you. Women who are cheering you on. Women who are holding your hand. Women who are telling you, you can do it. I am one of those women. I am Ellen. I am 69. I am a retired nurse. I am a widow. I am a mother. I am a grandmother. I am a survivor. And I am here for you. So if you need a sign, this is it. If you need permission, this is it. If you need hope, this is it. If you need to know that you can survive, this is it. You are not old. You are not weak. You are not worthless. You are a warrior. You a survivor. You a queen. You a everything. Walk away. Set bound. Rise. Protect yourself. Forgive yourself. Heal yourself. Love yourself. Live your life. Be freed, because you deserve it. You deserve everything. You deserve peace. You deserve joy. You deserve love. You deserve freedom. You deserve to be treated with kindness and compassion and respect. You deserve to be happy. And I want to tell you one more thing. I want to tell you about the thing that shocked me most about my story. It was not the betrayal. It was not the theft. It was not the cruelty. It was the moment I realized that I had always been powerful. I just forgot. I forgot that I had survived poverty. I forgot that I had survived my husband's death. I forgot that I had survived 42 years of nursing. I forgot that I had held dying men's hands. I forgot that I had watched miracles. I forgot that I had watched tragedies. I forgot that I had walked through fire and had come out the other side. I forgot that I was strong, but I remembered. I remembered on that day. I remembered when I read those texts. I remembered when I felt that stillness. I remembered when I made my plan. I remembered when I loaded that U-Haul. I remembered when I sold everything. I remembered when I flew home. I remembered when I changed my account. I remembered when I walked away. And I have never forgotten since. And now I want you to remember too. Remember who you remember what you have survived. Remember how strong you remember how powerful you remember how beautiful you remember how valuable you a survivor. You a fighter. You a warrior. You a everything. So take my hand. Take my words. Take my story. Let them be your fuel. Let them be your fire. Let them be your courage. And take that step. Take that step today. You can do it. I know you can. Because I did it. And I am still standing. And I will always be standing. And so will you.